Come as a guest and leave as a friend.
Eno ye Salam TV.
Good evening viewers, welcome to Salam TV. Olutimbe olwemirembe olwalero nze Mariam Businge wano ku Salam TV yennyini. Olwalero ngenda kwogera luzungu eno warning nga bukyali luzungu lwerere. Lwaki njogera oluzungu munaye gwe nakyaziza leero wa luzungu ate ne bitugenda okwogera bya luzungu nnyo. Tewerabira Afromobile. Gula Afromobile time ofune data kulaga Afromobile. Naye munange tewerabira kwewanisa mumanyi wa Salam TV 2026 ongoing. Ate n'ekirala UG votes. Bannaye mubeere wano ku lutimbe tugenda balaga akalulu engeri gye kagenda okutambulamu wano wennyini across all networks. Okay, let me introduce my guest today and he's going to tell us about the advancements we have had in medical technology. A lot of things have been happening. We have seen evolution of medical technology. But how far has Uganda evolved to embrace medical technology? Good evening.
Good evening, Mariam.
Say hello to the viewers. Tell us your name. The last time you were here, you were something else. Are you still that person?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. And to our viewers, thank you for having us again. My name is Emmanuel Sechanzi. I come from a background of medicine with a specialization in anesthesia. I'm also an entrepreneur running two interesting companies, one of them being Medref, which is a health tech company, and Nuviva, which is also a health tech and more of a health tech and agri-tech company that are both running with our headquarters in India and also in Uganda.
How is India?
India is an interesting country, probably similar to us in terms of culture and family, and obviously I did my studies there. It has been around 5 years now. So it's really good. Maybe the temperature is, we are 45 degrees and in Uganda it's a bit more cooler. So here it's
a bit cooler than the other side.
No, here it's winter for us. So when you come from Gujarat, when you come here, you are in winter, yes.
Oh, that means the other place is hot.
Yeah, very hot.
Okay. How do you find Uganda's medical technological advancement compared to India?
I think when we talk about advancement in health technology, I don't think that it's no longer a discussion of who is better. It's a reality that everybody has to adopt technology. And then for us as a country, as Uganda, it is a reality looking at the human resource and also creating more access to healthcare. But obviously India is a bit better than us, and that also comes with different factors. They have better infrastructure, and obviously affordable internet and accessibility to mobile phones and mobile data. Now when you come to Uganda, in the different African countries, we have done strong strides towards health technology, and that includes digital technology. Now you look at different mobile apps we are having in Uganda where you can do consultation. You look at telemedicine where you can consult with your doctors online. You look at the different EMRs that are in different hospitals, including government hospitals where now everything is digital. So you have your digital results. So Uganda has made advancements, and actually Uganda is one of the few countries which is holding a national digital health conference every year. It happens in November. We have a national digital health roadmap. So Uganda, when it comes to digital health, we are going in a great direction, and that has been a collaboration between Ministry of Health, NITAU, and other departments. So Uganda is not way back. We are not yet where we want to be in terms of digital health, but again, we have made strong strides over the last 4 or 5 years. I've been actively participating in this space.
Okay, thank you so much. When you look at medical or technological advancements, one would think that we are using computers, we are using digital BP monitors. What would someone look at when they're looking at medical technological advancement?
So I think when we speak about the advancements in health technology, many people look at it as computer thing and they make it more complex. The idea of using technology, to me, when it comes to the African setting, is to ensure that we create more access to healthcare. Now, the biggest vibe in the whole world right now is AI. AI in health, machine learning, and all that. The question we have with AI when it comes to the sub-Saharan African setting is, how do we ensure that we create more access to healthcare by advancing health technology? Now, which means that, I'll give you an example. It's very difficult for any African country, with Uganda inclusive, to have a specialist in every village. Now, one of our ideas is to have a health center in every 5 kilometers or a health center in every 10 kilometers.
It's a sub-count actually.
Yes, but we have not reached at a point saying in every sub-county we need a medical doctor. So now we have what we call telemedicine right now. So we have telemedicine kiosks in a village, and then an expert in a city like Kampala can talk to a patient in a village. Now what you have done is you have bridged the gap between the urban and rural. So how I'm looking at health technology is, how do we increase access to the services that the urban has been receiving. Then also the second thing that we see is the effectiveness of the services we are giving. Now when you go to diagnostics in the health technology we are using right now, is when you go back in early days, you had to go somewhere, take your sample, you take a test, and after taking a test, you have to wait for a boda man to bring back the results to the hospital. So then you find someone takes tests today, and then they have to get their results after 2 days. Now with the advancements in diagnostics and coming with digital health, mobile apps, EMRs, you do a test today, you get your results by email. So it comes and it is bridged to around 3 hours turnaround time. So this increase in the speed and efficiency of our systems actually is being caused by the health technology. But the idea that health technology means computers has to change. I think health technology, talk about it, AI, machine learning, diagnostics, EMRs, talk about one of the things that is interesting, hospital management systems. These are all coming to increase more access, to make us more efficient, and also to ensure that the patients get personalized healthcare services. So this is the role of health technology right now. So it's not more about computers, it's more about the patient. So the more we look at the patient instead of the computers, then implementing health technology will be easier.
Okay, over the time we've seen when our grandfathers, maybe some of us, used to have those small exercise books when we used to go to the hospital. When you don't have that, you are nothing. And the ladies who go for antenatal, they usually have cards. They monitor everything they do. By the way, exercise books are still used in some hospitals, especially our government hospitals. How is Meditech going to help with data collection, getting the history of the patient and keeping those medical results?
I think that's a brilliant question. We always talk about data-driven decisions, and then we talk about quality data. But we forget to talk about that one of the factors that affects the quality of data is actually the quality of the data source. So with the way data has been collected over years, using books, we have lost a lot of data, and then we cannot track how we have been performing, which disease has been on a high increase over the last years, and then we don't even track the growth of the child, and then that makes decision making from the central government, also us at the ground level, difficult. Now when you talk about books, we are actually having a project, one of our projects in Sierra Leone under Meditech with UNICEF, which is digitizing all child health records. That includes immunization tracking and nutrition. So before we went there, everybody has a immunization card. But when a mother keeps that immunization card, what happens is after 2 months, put it under the pillow, then you forget when is the next immunization. But that also it's not a big challenge. Now the big challenge is, if I take an immunization service here, tomorrow I go to another center, I take another service, then I immunize my child here. Because we don't have a unique identifier of that child, the system, the available system paper records says 3 people have taken this service. Now, at the end of the day, in the making report, you find a district of 300,000 people saying, no, we have taken care of 1 million people. Then you find over 700,000 are all duplicates. So what we are doing is ensuring that each child is uniquely identified across the continuum of care, and also ensuring that we track their progress and also the way they're accessing services. So let's say we have a national dashboard, and you are seeing that this village is taking over services very well in immunization, and this village is not performing well. Then as a district, you can decide, like, okay, instead of doing Masaka, which is taking over 70% of access to HPV vaccines, let us go to Kirandong and ask why only 10 people have taken vaccine. Instead of getting all awareness camps and you put them in Masaka because it has nice hotels where the experts can sleep. So data is a very important thing, because we are doing data-driven decisions, and then real-time data is also important. So we used to have data coming in after 6 months, per quarter, maybe every year, which means for you to make a stronger decision, you have to wait for a year. Now with Wi-Fi, with internet connection, with broadband internet, we are having real-time data, which means when a nurse does something at a primary health center, someone at the district health center will know what is happening, and then someone at the central government will know. So if you want to make a decision today, you make it today. You don't wait for the spreadsheets to be combined after 1 year. So data is going to be a game changer, and every country has to protect their data, because data is really, really important, is making decisions and helping us develop the healthcare system.
I have a very live example. You know, during the COVID pandemic, people used to get vaccines, but you used to see people who have not gotten vaccines with the vaccination card with serial numbers of vaccines, and lucky enough, these serial numbers used to be right, because remember, they can be tracked.
Yes.
You track a vaccine, but you can find that maybe they copied that very vaccine number, serial number, and put them on their cards. And these people used to have even vaccination certificates, and they used to pass. But at the end of the day, right now, people are telling you, me, I was never vaccinated, but they have a vaccine card. And I think you guys, as implementers of this, you should look into this, and maybe do something about whatever.
I think the duplication of resources and duplication of funds is a headache not only for government, but also for partners, developmental partners, whether it's UNICEF or Global Fund. Now, we used to have something in immunization called tallying. I know you might not know it, but you can vaccinate someone and then you tally.
I know.
So now what happens is sometimes you don't even need to vaccinate, you just tally, and you get the allowance for those tallies.
Leave alone that, you know, these medical centers, they want numbers. That is one thing. That is one thing actually maybe that may be failing our system. People, for example, when they're testing for HIV, they will get kits, make them disappear, and they tally. They give you results. They sign on that. And we had done a campaign for HPV vaccination of young girls, 10 years and above. They will go to a school, they assume they have vaccinated all the girls, and they give you results. How is that going to affect the data collection system if you have to continue with this?
So I think when you look at the different technologies that have been developed right now, we talk about the EMR, and as we started with Uganda, Uganda is one of the few countries which has its own national Uganda EMR. And when you have an EMR, it means for each patient who is registered into the system, they have a unique identifier. So that can be a national ID, the NIN number, or that can be a system-generated unique ID. Now, which means if I have this unique ID, then I can get a vaccine, but if I try doing it in another district, the system will tell me, no, you have already received the same dose in Chiliandongo, so you have reduced the duplication. But the second interesting thing is each vaccine has a batch number. So we have created a system in the way when I give a child a vaccine, I have to register that the batch number of the vaccine I've given. So if let's say I vaccinate 10 children in my system.
You are in Kampala?
I'm in Kampala. It will show that those 10 batches have been given in Kampala. It will show on the dashboard that batch 003, batch 004, B345 have been given in Kampala.
So if they show up in Gulu,
if they show up in Gulu, then
something wrong,
then something will be wrong. So you will see it on the dashboard. Automatically you will call the health center in Gulu to say, why are we having duplication of batches? Actually, that could be maybe a leak in the system because it shouldn't happen, because we code every batch inside the software. The nurse is not allowed to put a batch number into the system. You just choose polio B3. But the most important thing of that is, what if we have an adverse reaction? Maybe we gave you polio, a vaccine, and then the child is just, the bones are just breaking. So what happens is, we know which batch to pull out from the society. But if we are not knowing which batch is being given to who, then there's no way of tracking the adverse reactions. So systems will bring accountability in the way healthcare is being delivered. Okay. And any country which does not have a strong primary health care, even if you have a strong tertiary health system, it's really difficult for you to survive. So accountability at the primary health center is really, really important. And then Uganda has digitized until community health workers. So this is really important. So you can pick cases from the house, and then you know what is happening at the facility, you know what is happening at the district. So it's really important to digitize all this, but obviously people will find breaches. We innovate in systems, they also innovate ways to bypass the system.
There is a certain course, I think, which is done, which is called medical records. I think it's high time these people get jobs. Because you find a health center, they are usually, I think, health centers 4-3. Yeah, 4. Like these KCCA hospitals, the ones in the hospitals at the sub-counties, they just have a nurse, a midwife, and maybe a visiting MO. I think these people are the ones who are supposed to track these records, enter records, outpatient, inpatient. I think that gap might be a little bit low somewhere.
And I think also the cost gap. Now, I'm someone who believes that ICT and digital health should be part of the curriculum for every nurse. One of the biggest challenges we have faced in implementing technologies is you have the technology, but the people are not ready to use it. And then you have to get a nurse who completed a diploma in nursing and then train them typing, in ICT, how to switch on your Wi-Fi. Actually, there's a great example. Like, the system is working, but the nurse does not know how to switch on their Wi-Fi, and then they call the helpline. Do you know that this system is not working? We should go back to the books. Then you try to troubleshoot what is happening to the system. And you find out she did not switch on the Wi-Fi on her tablet. So, digital health, AI, and health tech should be included in the syllabus that all nursing staffs are doing right now. Okay. And then there should be also capacity building sessions at the hospitals, not in Serena or anywhere, in the hospitals, so that we ensure that they are capacitated to use tablets. Or else we are deploying, but then if the human resource cannot use it, then the technology becomes a burden. And at the end of the day, they switch back to their books. You repeated the PS's words, let's leave Serena, go to the ground. She said that and cried so much. I don't know whether she still has that agenda on her desk. Let's look at diagnostics. When you are looking at Meditech, we don't only look at data. Yeah. After data, you have to diagnose. You know, I will give you an example for us. When you are looking at diagnostic, we look at the microscope, we look at the ultrasound scan, we look at the x-rays, we look at the MRIs. That's all we know. Is there anything else that someone needs to know that has been advanced in diagnostic? I think as every department of healthcare, diagnostics have evolved over time. And then for us at New Viva, we have an idea of what we want to create. As I said, my major vision is creating access. Now, there is no importance of advancement in healthcare technology when it is reducing access to healthcare by those who need it most. Now, when you look at diagnostics, it's the same. One, we have diagnostics, the same thing. An expert is sitting in Kampala. They have a camera and a small kiosk in a village. You come and do your tests, and then you get a consultation with a consultant, a pathologist, that, okay, this could be a higher viral load of malaria, this could be this. So which means a patient in diagnostic does not need to get a report in Mubende and then has to drive 100 kilometers for an expert to explain it to them in Kampala. That's one. The second thing I said again is AI. Now we have AI in diagnostics, where we have seen AI models being built, not at a larger scale by now, but to assist the doctors, with some research saying that they are better than the doctors, which we will not agree, but they are there to say that these are here to help diagnose. So you put the images of a CT scan, and then they can pick up those points that the doctors might not see. So AI is there. And then we have EMR, where we have now all the diagnostics recorded in an EMR. And obviously the most important one, which is using the technology to ensure that will make sure that the turnaround time of results is reduced. So if you are doing PCR with a gene expert machine, which is giving you 16, and then you have one which is giving you 100 tests per hour, so the turnaround time becomes easy. So what we are looking at in diagnostics right now is ensuring that those who need it most access it. So radiology, telemedicine, and all these are going to mobile apps. So now you can receive all your results on mobile app. You don't need to print it. You can move with it everywhere. So doctors can share it. So it's really, really important to understand that advancements in diagnostics and health tech are going to make access to better services to our people. And that's the most important thing we are working on right now.
Okay.
Yes.
And is Uganda ready for that?
Uganda is, I can bet 100% Uganda is more than ready. To compare to other sub-Saharan African countries, you know, you look at electricity. We have stable electricity at a certain point, not everywhere, but at least compared to other countries.
At least the urban centers.
At least the urban centers. You talk about internet access, broadband is moving very well. I hope MTN and Airtel will make it a bit cheaper. And then you look at the human resource. Now you look at our education system is way better compared to other African countries. And then you look at the population. Now the population in Uganda is aware of what they want. So I think Uganda is more than ready, and I think the government has the policies to support that. If everything stays according to the policies that have been given, I think Uganda is really, really ready. I told you we are one of the only countries that have a national digital health conference every year. Yes.
Okay. We hope to attend that, inshallah.
You should.
I'm waiting for the invitation, and maybe something good may come out of that, because everybody needs to know what is really happening.
I have my friend there called Solomon Muhumuza. I will call him.
Oh,
will give you.
That will be very, very, very wonderful. You know, people need to know what is really going on. We don't have to go to these big hospitals. You know, these are the big hospitals where you go. I think I've seen like how many hospitals where you go to the reception. They tell you, go there, no paperwork.
Yeah. You
go there and you find everything intact. And I don't know whether someone in Kabera Maido can experience that.
They can, and that's the most important thing. As I said, health tech should not be for the city. We need to ensure that health tech does not bring a divide. It is creating access. So using the radiology, teleradiology, telemedicine, it means if whatever you get here, someone in Kabera Maido should be able to get the similar thing. We even have management of ICU. I've seen it in India, in Ahmedabad, where an expert 2,000 miles away can manage an ICU using a robot with a camera. So they can see which is happening to the patient, and they can guide the ICU technician on what to do. So it is going to be a game changer, and it should create access. That's the most important thing. You people should not enjoy the mobile app alone. Yeah, that's important.
That's amazing. Maybe, you know, these days, especially the grown parents, they assume that the Gen Zs are the ones who are supposed to
the grown parents in Uganda, they are more of Gen Zs than us.
Millennials. The millennials. For us, we are millennials, and the Gen Zs have gone a way mileage, a very big mileage away from the millennials. And they think that it is the Gen Zs who are supposed to know a lot of IT.
No, we have to do that. We have to teach them. You see, our parents, maybe they don't want to learn these new things, but we will force them.
Okay, thank you so much, dear viewers. Let's go for a break. When we get back, we are going to know the cost implication of medical technological advancements.
"2026 is calling, and your voters are watching, listening, scrolling and streaming. Ready to lead? Then it's time to be seen, heard and remembered. Next Media is your campaign partner. From TV to radio, digital to mobile, even influencer power, we get your message everywhere. Whether you're running for MP or local council, it's your time, your voice, your victory. Book your space now with us on 0761 001 890. Better steady, be better.
I have personally not been scammed because, well, being my line of work keeps my antennas up, my fraud antennas up, and as I do awareness, I also get tips on what's happening. So yes, there are attempts, but they've not been successful. The quick tip I normally give people is every number that calls you that is not saved in your phone should be the first flag of this could be Mufere. So if any number calls you and it's not saved in your phone, it's not in your contacts, that should be the first flag. Now, the moment you answer that call and someone starts telling you, I am a manager calling from here, I'm calling from UCC, I'm calling from... That one is definitely a Mufere. Don't even engage them. You who's aware of the tricks that the Mufere use, please help the people around you, your network, to also be steady so that we all become steady and frustrate the Mufere.
In partnership with Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
We all have that one friend, always by your side for the big moments and ready to assist. He's always got his eyes on the prize and his heart in the right place. Where would we be without our BFF? This season, enjoy all 380 Premier League games with your BFF GoTV. Upgrade or reconnect to GoTV Super Plus for the discounted price of just 90,000 shillings today. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
One by one makes a bundle. United Media is your gateway to a countrywide radio station. With a coalition of more than 120 radio stations, 15 TV channels, 20 online publications, you can cover every region and community with convenience and no hassle. Guaranteed impact with consolidated communication and localized engagement. Whether it's an MDA, development partner, FMCG or regular advertiser, United Media is a truly one-stop shop for your communication needs. United Media, together we will shape the future.
Ready? Be a loser.
Banyita Nyasamaza Jane. Bamamagaye bambwira ko hari umwana wanje wo kuri ishuri rya Mariya wahanguye school fees. Biranezeza cyane ndishimye. Nakanze akanyenyeri 165 akanyenyeri 80 urwego nshiraho kode y'umwana. Nishimira Momo MTN kunshashurira bishura umwana wanje umwaka wose. ndabashimiye cyane.
Chigenda kutokotanga sichisanikire Tosuboda Boda Union Festival and Expo nga tujaganya tujja kujaguliza wa mama zali wa muzeyi His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ngate era ye mugenyi omukuru mujja tunyumirwa abayimbi abakabi empaka za ziboda boda ezo kuyimba n'amazina ludo n'ezebikonde wali ekolono ceremonial grounds ticket yo gifuna okuva ewa MP wo kansala wo LC5 oba LC3 chairperson fenna tubeeyo Union the better way.
What does it take to own your moment? It takes preparation without limits.
Mommy, what happens when I don't brush my teeth? When you don't brush your teeth, they will rot and they will fall out. Wow, Mommy, how do you know all about this? Mommy, you're smarter than TikTok. Thank you, Imela.
It takes knowledge without boundaries. At FiberNet, we work backstage so you can take center stage. Get connected to the most reliable and affordable unlimited internet by visiting fibernet.co.ug or call 0800 310 310 to get started. FiberNet, the unlimited internet experience.
Welcome back from the break. Before we broke off, we were talking about the AI, the Gen Zs and everything, the medical technological advancements, especially in diagnostics. Okay, another point, we have to think about affordability. We are talking about advancements medically. Is it affordable? Can everybody afford this? Let's go into that.
Yeah, I think I love this question, you know, it's a very African question. But
so
anyway,
African, by the way. You know, even consultation is hard here.
No, the idea is, if we make it affordable, now we have to ensure that healthcare is affordable and sustainable.
Yeah, true.
Now, you know, everybody talks about sustainability and everybody understands it the way they want to understand it. But health technology and diagnostics, you know, advancements in technology should ensure that accessibility to healthcare is now more affordable. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If I needed to hire a specialist in a health center in Mubende district where I come from, then it's going to cost me probably millions of Ugandan shilling to have them full-time. But if I can put a telemedicine kiosk over there with a big screen and a camera where the patient takes the results, comes into the kiosk, sits, and then we play a consultation with the expert in Kampala. So we have reduced the price of the fuel, the accommodation we could have to cover for that expert, and actually we are only paying per consultation and we're not paying full-time, which means using that only kiosk, you are reducing the cost of a specialist or any cost a hospital would face to almost 50%. So the other thing we should look at is the human resource. Do we have the human resource not only in Uganda but the sub-Saharan Africa? Because I've moved this sub-Saharan Africa frequently to understand that some of the countries, they are at the mercy of the doctors because you have only one nephrologist in the whole country. If he wakes up and he's annoyed with his wife, the whole day kidney patients have nothing to do. So the same thing is, it should make it cheaper Second, look at EMR. You talked about the hospital where you enter, there is no paper, you only wait for your invoice which you receive on WhatsApp. So it becomes a paperless hospital. You are not spending on printing, you're not buying paper, you're not buying printers, you're not actually even buying electricity to run those machines. And then another last thing is the human resource. I'm not saying it's going to replace the human resource we have, but if you have cameras, you understand, and then you have, instead of having 20 nurses to manage an ICU, then you can have 10. If you have digital ventilators, you have digital monitors, they can always beep to tell you that there's something, there's a problem. Then you don't need 100 nurses to run an ICU. So health tech and Meditech, they are all going to reduce the cost of running a hospital, the cost of access to healthcare, and also they are going to make the patients aware of what actually do they need. So it's really important to recognize the role of health tech. But how is that going to happen? Everyone has to know that it's an ecosystem. It's not a one-man show. We are a health tech development company, but we also need an SMS provider. We need an internet provider. We need a hosting provider. And so if we don't come together to develop an ecosystem to help the health tech thrive in this continent, it's going to be very, very expensive to adopt the technology. Okay. So we have to understand that it's an ecosystem. It's not a one thing that is standing to change the healthcare. So everybody has to participate in this. And that's why the companies like MTN, the communication companies, the IT companies, we have to come together and ensure that this is affordable for the patients. But again, I stress it, health tech should make healthcare accessible and cheaper than what we are doing right now. Okay, thank you so much. There's this tendency of insurance companies, for them they make it look like as if medical care is a bit cheaper and affordable. They are really, even the telecom companies, by the way, have adapted it to have that healthcare insurance system to help people access healthcare so easily. So I pray that all the stakeholders go on board. What opportunities and challenges do you think medical advancement can cause to our communities, especially with whatever is happening? You know, for us, we take ourselves to be third world countries. What do you think can really be a challenge to the whole system? Because we need this. That is the fact. Because the world is moving at a terrible speed, and we are looking at the next tomorrow, and we have to get out of the comfort zones. You know, now I have to choose whether to answer this question as a diplomat or to answer it direct. You know, this is one of my best questions. I like speaking about this. Adoption of health tech in this sub-Saharan region, not only Uganda, is dependent on different things. And for me, my standout point, and I stress it completely, is the infrastructure. Okay. So if we are not having stable electricity to power our health centers, that we are still losing premature babies in an ICU because there was a cut down on electricity, why would we even be running up and down to bring AI? It spend a lot on AI. One of the foundational problems I've seen in this sub-Saharan region is the infrastructure. Now, what I mean, look at our hospital settings, look at the electricity access, internet access, so we need to make sure that these are available. Data hosting services. Now, we have countries in this region who are hosting their data in Iran, Mumbai, Amazon Web-based servers in South Africa. Then as a country, you don't have control of your data. Or you might have a control, but it is less because you don't know where your data is. So investing in the infrastructure is the biggest challenge in adopting health tech in this sub-Saharan region. So before we talk about AI, what is AI going to do? Who is stealing our data? We need to ensure that our infrastructure is stable. That's one. The second biggest challenge is leadership. Now, whatever we do, if our leaders don't have the vision to ensure that this is adopted and brought home, then whatever we do is useless. Now, we have to have a leadership team which is envisioning the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of health tech in Uganda. And then there should be an efficiency to execute these policies and documents that we do. They look very beautiful with the Ugandan flag. We have one of the best documents in the whole world. But if these are not executed by strong leaders, then it's not going to happen. And then the allocation of resources. Now we have a lot of resources, government resources, development partner resources, but the resources are misused or they are used for wrong purposes. If we are not doing that, then that's a big challenge for us. And lastly, the involvement of the local capacity. Now we have youths here. I don't know how many ICT companies we have, but then look at all the technology we are using. Which technology has been developed in country? And also, if it has been developed in country, which technology has been successfully implemented? We either fight them or we don't incubate them to ensure that these solutions come out. So these are serious challenges, not only for Uganda, for every sub-Saharan African country. Infrastructure is a big challenge. If we cannot power our hospitals to save mothers giving birth in darkness, then why would we now talk about AI? And now, but what is the opportunity? Because you asked the opportunities and challenges.
Before you go to opportunities, I can point out a few instances whereby we get appeals here and people are asking for oxygen. Ordinary oxygen. Someone calls you, I have a patient who can't stay off oxygen. Could you help me? I'm looking for oxygen. Those are people who are on hospice care. We have a situation whereby we still see nurses brave difficult terrain to give vaccines. You know, there's a very popular photo which goes around the internet of this young girl in a pink uniform with a cooler on a wooden ladder climbing a hill. I think those are hills of Bododa. If we have such situations, how are we going to balance? Because here is a situation, we are all Ugandans here, and we all need, you know, that inequality. How are we going to solve the inequality? When will that person down there, you know, we are getting a curriculum whereby we are getting very many incubation centers, and our kids are right now learning on hands, and there are kids who are creating very many tech things. So what generation are we creating with the inequality around?
So I think, you know, to start with, we have to first understand our reality. See, we are seeing Sub-Saharan Africa or Uganda from another person's lens. Like, let's say India right now, you might find every 6th developer is an AI developer. So if India is talking about developing AI for blockchain, what? Probably we would say the same. But also we have to accept the reality that we still have those foundational problems that I said. Like some of our hospitals don't have power, some of them are understaffed, and these are all questions we have to answer. But then, when you look at the resilience of this sub-Saharan African continent, we have people, like you talked about, a lady going up the hill to go and vaccinate children. Those are hard to reach areas, but they go there. That's the resilience I talk about. We have to make sure that actually, can we get them a motorcycle? I'm not saying we should not take over the AI, but AI is not going to work if we have not solved the foundational problems. If there is no internet in Mubende, okay, so how are we going to run an AI system there?
Without internet.
Without internet. So the first thing is, at least the adoption of these technologies should push partners and governments to ensure that the foundational problems are solved. Now, when it comes to innovation around home, I was privileged because I was incubated for almost 2 years under Startup Gujarat, Government of Gujarat, and SSIP, Student Startup Policy. I've seen how funding works and how startup policies work. And I think I was privileged to work on one and be part of the team which was working on the Uganda Startup Policy. Always policies are always good. But then we have to accept, one, that no one is going to solve our problems. And then we have the capacity to solve the problems. Now, when you talk about Makerere University, there are very few universities that have actually reached to such a prominent achievement as what Makerere has done over more than 140 or 50 years. So we should now ensure that when these guys are incubated, they are given a ground to play, to grow. And that also goes back to infrastructure. Now, what do I mean? If I develop a mobile app in India right now, or a website, it's going to take me how long? Maybe 2 minutes with something like 500 rupees to make it live. Can we make the same hosting services available in Uganda? That's really important. So our kids, and I'm happy I have seen the new education system. I've not understood it yet, but it's more practical. I hope innovations will come out, and these innovations will not die. There should be continuity.
Yeah, sure.
One of the problems facing innovation is the gap between institutions. Oh, Mbara University, we are working on this. We will not share it with Makerere. But there should be continuity of knowledge. That's why a PhD should not stop after graduation. Another person should start on the same research. And the collaboration will make us work out something.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk about the opportunities.
Opportunities, yes. So opportunities for health tech and advancements in diagnostics.
We have already hinted on some of them actually.
Yeah, they are there. And one, we start with the simplest one, mobile apps.
Okay.
Receive notifications of your next appointment for your body checkup. Ensure that you don't miss it. Receive what we call your lab report, share it with your doctor, encrypted report. That's one. Telemedicine and teleradiology, which is going to ensure that it doesn't matter where you are, you can speak to any specialist, which is going to bring healthcare access to the people. But health tech, I forgot actually to mention, is the capacity building. You know, let's say you have an application, a digital app used for referrals. So the nurse can put a problem. Oh, we have a patient who has been bitten by a snake. And then a chatbot will tell them what is the condition. Then they give the symptoms. He's vomiting. This. And then accordingly, the chatbot will guide. If you see these symptoms, refer to the next facility or give this first aid care. So the nurse does not need to go to Google. They have a database which is proven by the Ministry of Health, and that can help them build their capacity. So opportunity for health tech with also the introduction of AI and machine learning is there for us as a country, as Uganda, but also as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we cannot accept to be left behind. But then we have to realize that, no, as those people are doing their own stuff, we have our foundational problems that we want to work on. And I think which Uganda has really, really worked on, because you can move anywhere in Uganda, you can access internet. I've been in some countries, you go and then, okay, you cannot even send an SMS. So that is there. And for us at New Viva, at MedRef, we have an idea of what we want to create when it comes to that. And maybe in coming years, you will come and visit some of our centers and see how we use technology to ensure that parents, patients, and everybody in the community accesses healthcare the way they should. That's the most important thing. That's the vision before I get married. Yes.
Inshallah. What does the future hold for the health technological advancements?
The future, I cannot even imagine it. Because what I think, robotics is coming in. We have seen surgical robotics happening. I don't know whether we have one in Uganda.
We only have laparoscopic. That is the most common one.
So laparoscopy has changed how patients heal. And then we have robotic surgery now being done. I've seen some sessions in India. But then also the most important one you have to look at what the future holds is there is going to be a future where we move from patient needs to patient experience. Now, patient needs, I mean, you talked about laparoscopy. I want to do a knee surgery. You want to do your open knee surgery? Right now it is possible because the patient, what I need to get away with this pain. But then with patient experience, I will say, I need a keyhole surgery because I don't want to have a big scar. Some of the people are models, you know. And then some of us who are slim, we might have that occupation in the coming years. So I don't want to have a big scar. So technology advancement is going to take us more into personalized medicine and also personalized care, but most importantly, it's going to create a great experience for the patients. That's what I can say. When I try to talk about AI, what is machine learning going to do, how it's going to improve research, that is more technical. I want to focus on my patients. What is the future for my patient? That means healthcare at your home. We collect the sample from you, we explain everything. in your seat, in your convenience, at your campus. No more long journeys. That's what I think healthcare is going to give us, the experience. And that's what we are working for.
Do we see Noviva having a facility in Uganda?
Probably, we should have it. This is my country. We should have a facility here. We should have a great diagnostics in future. Probably we should have the technologies deployed here. And we have a plan. The good thing, we have an idea of what we want to do. We are sticking with that idea. We are trying to sell it to different people. And the good people are joining us. So I think we have an idea of advancing the healthcare using technology. But the most important thing, ensuring that it is accessible. That's my word. It should be accessible, and it should be affordable, and it should be sustainable.
Okay, how do you see, would you advise a youngster watching you right now to join you in India?
Probably they should come and see what people are doing, and they should do it back home. Anyway, India is not for the weak people, you know. It's 1.4 billion.
What challenges do you have when you are not home?
Food. We don't get the matoke and those of things. Then when you come, you are non-veg. In Gujarat, we don't eat that. Then probably also you are trying to learn new cultures, so you tend to feel as if you are being pulled away from your own self, which is an African. So you battle with a lot of stuff, but you'll get to see what people do. You get to see a 7-year-old Indian doing something great, which you are not doing at 24. And that's what I saw. You know, these guys are busy innovating, and I'm in class. You know, I have a first class with distinction. To them, it doesn't matter. My Gujarat friends, they are doing great stuff outside of class, which I cannot do. And so I had to trick a bit and join the journey. So that's why I'm also not in class, you know.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. And we would really, really love to host you whenever you are around. And give us that word of encouragement. You have a master's class. How can someone join?
No, so my master classes, you know, because of time difference, sometimes I stop. But I run master classes probably in every month. We choose one Saturday because I try to talk to the youths and look, we have our own challenges. We have defined them. No one is here to solve them. And then probably it's difficult, you know. It's really, really difficult to survive in this sub-Saharan country. You know, when you look at India or any other place I've worked with their startup environments, the environment is allowing you to succeed, not here.
To me, abe mubende. Mudachike?
Abe mubende, aha. Kati njogera Luganda.
Mudachike.
Mudachike mu abe mubende bonamba tumirako. Mama wange omusomesa. Tata wange, manyi tata wange musuubuzi.
Alhamdulillah.
Aja kuguza kasoli. Tata wange abaga kugula kasoli mu mutuukirire na buli omu nja kujambala beko. Mariam yakyankwatidde wano e Kampala.
So Emma, thank you so much.
Yes.
And we really appreciate your time, and we hope someone picks this up and do something. If you have a hospital out there and you have something to improve on yourself, you can reach out. And I think I have nothing more to say. Thank you for being a good viewer. Musule bulungi.
Mweraba.
Jagenda Primary School ezemu kutegekera mega kulane competition 2025 2024 yalimanga abayizi okuva mu primary and secondary bebatunka era bavuganyiza mu bintu ebyenjawulo ebikwata ku ddiini y'Obusiraamu omuli okuwandika ebitontome ku bulamu bw'omubaka okusoma kulane y'ekitiibwa okusoma ebiwandiiko n'okwanukula ebibuuzo ebikwata ku ddiini y'Obusiraamu anti omuwanguzi wakwewangulira olugendo lw'e Makka ne Madiina ng'akola wumula n'aba Makka Madiina omuzadde mu ggwanga Lukanga alindirira mpaka za kamalirizo ng'ennaku z'omwezi 2 omwezi ogw'omwenda 2025 olunga 21 omwezi ogw'omwenda 2025 twongere okutegeera ebyafaayo by'obusiraamu byonna ku mukolo mawuuno gano abawanguzi bo bakwasibwa ebirabo byabwe anti mega Quran competition okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku 0772 40 42 ne 0704 03 87 06 biwagiddwa Jagenda Primary School ne Makka Madina Ajjande Umura Mega Quran Competition 2025 ku Jagenda Primary School.
Vandalism is an offense punishable by up to 10 years in jail.
Al-Hashmiya hijja an umra oyagala kukola hijja oba umra ng'okulembeddwa abakugu mu mulimu guno jangu otambule naffe mu Al-Hashmiya tukukozesa emikolo gya hijja oba umra mu bujjuvu bwagyo olwo ate ne tukugatirako okukulambuza ebifo eby'enkizo byonna mu byafaayo by'obusiraamu omuli Masjidi Quba, Badiri, Uhudi, essamba z'entende Ajwa, empuku ya Hira ewatandikira obubaka n'ebifo ebirala bingi. Tambula olugendo lw'ebyafaayo ng'okulembeddwa abakugu nga bakulembeddwa Sheikh Swalihi Kigundu mu Nabugerere ku Al-Hashmiya tukusomesa bulungi ddala olwo n'ogenda okukola emikolo gya hijja oba umra nga by'okola obitegeera. Tusangibwa mu Ndeeba ku Pacific Building. Okumanya ebisingawo tukubire ku 0752 815 111 oba ku 0759 464 669 saako 0772 458 795. Al-Hashmiya Hijja and Umrah, where challenges are opportunities.